Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands! In this video we are playing Warhammer 40k in Combat Patrol format, which pits the Space Marines against the Necrons. I'm Simone and I will be playing the Space Marines.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I will be playing the Necrons. Before we start, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back! If you're not subscribed yet and want to help us, join a growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys!
Today's mission is Archaeotech Recovery, the two armies will have to deploy within these two areas. There are 5 objectives and they are arranged in this way. As secondary objective, the Space Marines have chosen Wrath of the Emperor, while the Necrons have Reclaim and Dominate.
Every objective control from the second battle round will give 5 victory points each, up to a maximum of 15 points each turn. At the start of the third battle round, the defender will randomly choose between objectives 1, 2 and 3. In the fourth round, that marker will be removed, and the attacker will choose one between the two remaining. At the start of the last round, the marker chosen will be removed, and the objective marker left will give 10 victory points.
Let's move on to the description of the armies. The threat of the Necrons has grown enormously, so much so that it can no longer be ignored. The Space Marines attack one of the enemy outposts in the attempt to break their control over the region. The general of this army is a captain in Terminator armor, equipped with relic weapon and Stormbolter. Following him is a librarian in Terminator armor. His presence inside the unit of Terminators will allow me to enhance their attacks. The base unit of the detachment consists of 5 Space Marines belonging to the Inferno squad, armed with Fire Blasters. The strongest squad I have is the Terminators. 4 models are with Stormbolters and 1 model armed with Assault Cannon.
While setting up an outpost in an area rich of ancient technology, the Necrons found themselves under siege from the Space Marines. The extraction of the technology is too important to be stopped. Eliminate the enemies and resume the excavations. The general of the army is the Overlord. He is equipped with Tachyon Arrow and Overlord's Blade, and as enhancement, he has Protocol of Resonant Focus. Following we have 10 Necron warriors. Half of them are equipped with Ghost Slayer and the other half as Ghost Reaper. Then there's the Scorpack Destroyer, 3 models that will eliminate the enemies with their hyperface weapons. Next in line there's the Canoptech Tombstalker. He's armed with a Doomsday Blaster and Twin Ghost Flare. Lastly, we have 3 Canoptech Scarab Swarms. They have no objective control, but they can be annoying if they manage to reach the enemy backline.
I tried to deploy the army so that I could take advantage of the smoke cover on the battlefield. The unit of Terminators with the library inside are deployed on the left flank, ready to reach objective 2. The Inferno squad is positioned in the center, just behind the smoke. Finally, my general is hidden behind the tree, in control of objective 5.
I deployed the Scorpacks on the left side of the deployment zone, near objective 3. The Doomstalker in the middle will keep an eye on the battlefield, while the Scarab Swarm on his right will slow the enemy advance. On the right side of the deployment zone, there's the warriors in control of objective 4, and their job is to protect the Overlord at all costs.
Rolling for the initiative, blue dice for the Space Marines and orange dice for the Necrons. And I was hoping to go second.
1. The initiative is yours.
In my command phase, I use the stratagem Duty and Honor for objective 5. This way I can maintain control of the objective without having units nearby, and it will be under my control until enemy units control it. In the movement phase, the Terminators move forward to position themselves behind the smoke cloud but within 3 inches of objective 2, taking control of it. The Inferno squad does the same thing, hiding from the sight of enemies. My leader no longer has to control the objective, so he advances and rolls a 3, enough so he can reach a point out of sight of the enemies. In the first turn, I couldn't do much. I have to wait until I can target the Necrons in the next turn.
Since Simone decided to hide in the first turn, I'll use the first battle round to better positionate my units, starting with the Scorpack that move forward but carefully staying outside the Flamer's range. The warriors advance and roll a4. With 9 inches, they also manage to reach the objective 3. The Scarab Swarms fly behind the stairs, waiting for the enemy to show up. The Doomstalker, thanks to his side, can see the enemy Terminators, so he aims his Doomsday Blaster at them.
I don't want to lose my Terminators already, so I use Gene Rot Resilience, until the end of the phase, when an enemy model makes an attack with strength greater than the Terminator's toughness against them, it subtracts 1 from its wound roll.
The Doomstalker shoots d6 plus 2 shots. Rerolling with a command point, 7 shots total, that's great! Since he has not moved, he hits with 3+. For hit, With strength 14, he would wound with 2+, but thanks to the stratagem that Simone used, he wounds with 3+. Only one wound.
One shot to save with 4+ invulnerability. Perfect! Saved! There isn't much to say this turn. I managed to defend myself in the Necron shooting phase and took control of objective 2. Everything is going well. Next turn I can finally start doing something.
Unfortunately, the Doomstalker is still warming up. I lost a free shooting round on the Terminators. Let's hope my dice roll will improve in the next rounds.
At the start of the turn, I target the warriors for my out of moment special rule. This allows me to reroll the dice to hit against that unit. The Inferno Squad moves towards the center of the battlefield to cover objective 1, to prevent the Necrons from getting too close. The next to move are the Terminators, who reach the pipe, gaining an excellent position from which to fire on the enemies. The Captain moves right behind them, staying close to the objective. It's finally time to shoot! The Captain shoots first against the Warriors, 2 shots at 2+. Both hit, Strength 4 and Toughness 4, 4+ to wound. Only one.
Saving with 3+ thanks to the cover? 5! They're okay!
Now the Terminators, also against the Warriors. Let's start with the Librarian Smite, D6 shots. 6! Perfect! 2+ to hit thanks to the unit's rule. I can reroll the failed dice. All hit, with an additional dice thanks to the 6 for sustained hits. 7 hits to wound at 3. 4 wounds.
4+ to save this time. Not even one.
Stormbolters of the Librarian and the Terminators, 12 shots at 2+. I reroll the failed dice. 11 hits plus 5 more thanks to the 6s. 16 hits to wound at 4. Just 6? A little disappointing.
Saving with 3+. Wow, 5 wounds saved!
And finally the Assault Cannon, 6 shots at 2. All hit, with 2 additional shots, 8 dice to roll at 3+ to wound. 4 wounds.
Saving again with 3+. Only to save. I guess it could have been definitely worse considering the amount of shots fired. Only 7 warriors lost, it's alright. In my turn, I gain 10 victory points for the control of objectives 3 and 4. Then the reanimation protocols are activated and my warriors start reassembling. The 3 wounds gained. 2 warriors are back on the battlefield. In the movement phase, the Scorpex get closer to the Inferno Squad.
As the Scorpex finish their movement, the Inferno Squad opens fire on them, making Overwatch. The Flamers are perfect for this task, 5d6 shots. 70 shots directly to wound a 5. 6 wounds.
3+ to save. Amazing roll, guys. Really amazing. 1 Scorpex is eliminated and 1 is left with 1 wound. The warriors move 5 inches to their left to have better view on the enemies, while the Scarab Swarms fly closer to the Inferno Squad. The first to shoot are the warriors. They aim the Inferno Squad and fire everything they have. 8 shots of the Ghost Reaper that hit at 4+. 4 hit, of which, thanks to little hits, 2 wounds automatically. Higher strength, so wounding the other 2 dice with 3+. Both wounded.
4 dice, I need to roll 4+. 2 wounds received, then 1 Marine died.
Now the attack of the Ghost player? Never mind.
The first Imperial casualty of this match. Sorry, but you must leave the battlefield.
The Overlord aims his Tagion arrow at the enemy leader and fires. 1 shot at 2+. Hit! With strength 16, he wounds with 2+. Wounded!
The Captain saves a 4+ with invulnerability. Oh god! Luckily I managed to save him. It would have been really dangerous if he hadn't defended.
And now the Doomstalker. He targets again the Terminators, making d6 plus 2 attacks. 3. I need more, so reroll with a common point. 5. 7 shots that hit at 3+. 6 shots hit. Wounding with 2+. 5 wound.
4+ save for the Terminators. Damn! I use a common point to reroll dice. Okay, much better, even if these shots really hurt.
Now the Twin Ghost player. 1 shot at 4+. Missed.
I can't believe I lost 3 Terminators like that. My unit was halved.
Charge phase. The Scorpex needs 6+ to reach the Inferno Squad. 9. Good job. And now the Scarab Swarm. They need only a 4 to reach the Inferno Squad. 4. That's perfect. Let's start the combat phase with the Scorpex, shall we? They attack the Inferno Squad and make 8 attacks at 3+. 5 hit. With higher strength, they wound with 3+. Only 2 wounds.
I need 5+ to save them. Not even 1. That's 2 more dead Marines. Ouch.
And now the Scarab Swarms and their 18 attacks at 5+. With little hits, that's 1 automatic wound and 3 more dice to wound at 6. Just the automatic wound.
A dice to save a 3+. Okay, saved. It would have been sad to suffer a wound from a Scarab. The 2 Marines leave the battlefield. The remaining models fight against the Scorpex, making 6 attacks at 3+. 4 wounds. Congratulations. 2 dice to wound at 5+. Only 1.
3+ to save. They're okay.
Okay, this round was a little harder than I expected. It's the first time I've seen the Doomstalker take out 3 models as big as the Terminators. I was hoping to take much less damage than that, but now I have the possibility to manage the fight the way I want. In the next turn, I might be able to eliminate Andrea's most important units and get the game back under control.
At the end of the second battle round, I find myself in a dangerous situation. My Scorpex failed to eliminate the Inferno Squad, and now the only thing I can hope for is that they survive the Terminator's charge. In the third round, I have to randomly choose one of the 3 objectives in the middle that will be removed in the next round. Rolling a d3. 1. That's okay.
Also this turn, I choose the Warriors as the target of Oath of Moment. I then use a command point for Duty and Honor to maintain control of Objective 2. In the movement phase, the Terminators climb over the pipe and close in on the Scarabs. The Captain joins the Terminators to have a good line of sight on the enemies. The Captain is the first to shoot and targets the Warriors, taking 4 shots at 2. All hit, 4+ to wound. 2 wounds to the Warriors.
Saving with 4+. Only 1 saved.
With the Necron eliminated by the Captain, I gain 2 victory points for the secondary objective, Wrath of the Emperor. The Terminators also join the firing line against the Warriors. I start with the Smite, the 6 shots. 5 shots at 2+. I reroll the failed dice. Thanks to the 2 6s, there are 6 hits to wound at 3+. 5 wounds.
-1 penetration, so saving with 5+. Only 1 saved means that all the Warriors are eliminated.
With the Warriors eliminated, the rest of the shots go against the Overlord. 8 shots from the Bolters at 3+, as the Overlord is no longer targeted by Oath of Moment. I can't reroll, but I have 2 6s, so that's 6 shots that hit at 5+. 2 wounds.
No penetration, so saving with 2+. Only 1 save, it's fine.
And finally there's the Assault Cannon, 6 shots at 3+. 4 hit, with strength 6 and toughness 5, it wounds at 3+. 3 wounds.
Saving again with 2+. Well save. Well, it could have been worse, so I won't complain. But the entire unit of Warrior is eliminated, and the Overlord has suffered 1 wound.
The Terminators begin their charge against the Scorpex.
And the Doomstalker shoots Overwatch. D6 +1 shots on the Terminators. 6, great. Hitting at 6. Only 1. Wounding with 2+. Wounded.
A dice to save with invulnerability at 4. That little skull represents what happens to the Terminator. He's dead.
And now the Twin Ghost player. Nope.
Another Terminator finds himself in the dust. That Doomstalker is really putting on a good performance. The Terminators charge the Scorpex and the Scarabs at 6+. 8! Without any difficulty, the Marines join the Necrons in combat. The Captain also charges the Scarabs and needs 6 to reach them. Eddie 2 enters the fight, ready to crush some metal bugs. The first to fight are the Terminators against the Scorpex, starting with the Power Fist. 3 attacks at 3+. 2 hit, at strength 8, it wounds at 3+. 1 wound.
-2 penetration, so saving with 5+. 5! They're okay!
The Librarian's Force Weapon, 4 attacks at 3+. 3 successful attacks, including a 6, so 4 total attacks to wound at 4+. 2 wounds to the Scorpex.
4+ to save. Rerolling the dice in a balance. Wow! Rerolling 1 with a common point. Unbelievable!
Great! D3 wounds per attack. 2 wounds in the first attack. And 2 wounds in the second 2. 4 wounds total.
1 Scorpex is eliminated, and the other is left with only 1 wound.
The Captain attacks the Scarabs, trying to get rid of this annoyance. 6 attacks at 2+. 5 successful attacks, 2+ to wound. All the dice wound.
Too much penetration, so I can't save. That's 2 scarabs eliminated. Now I have to roll for deadly demise. If I roll a 6, every unit within 6 inches takes 1 mortal wound, and I don't want that, so let's not roll 6s please. Okay, I'm safe. 2 scarab swarms are eliminated, and the last one is left with 2 wounds. But the unit is still alive. Now it's my turn to attack. The Scorpack uses the ability Plasma Sight to gain the rule Devastative Wounds. Then he makes 4 attacks at 3+ on the Inferno Squad. 3 attacks hit. With higher strength, I wound with 3+. 2 wounded.
2 attacks to defend a 5+. Nope, failed. The Inferno Squad has been completely eliminated. I hoped I could make it survive.
Nice! In my turn I gain 10 more victory points. Then the reanimation protocols activate, and every unit that is not a starting strength regains D3 wounds. The Overlord only misses 1 wound, so he regains that automatically. The Scorpack instead regains only 2 wounds, so the last model of the unit goes back to full life. The Scarab Worms rolls a 5, meaning that one model comes back to life with 1 wound and the other is full. After the reanimation protocols, I have to roll for the battle shock test of the Scorpack. On a 7+, he passes the test. 8! He's perfectly fine. Then I spend a command point for the stratagem Will of the Overlord to increase the objective control characteristic of the Scarab Swarms. In the movement phase, the Scorpack disengages from combat and goes to control the objective 5. The Scarab Swarms do the same but fly over the smoke cloud and take control of objective 2. The Overlord instead moves forward to get closer to the Librarian. The Doomstalker is the only one that can shoot, and he aims at the Terminators. D6+1 shots of the Doomsday Blaster. I'd like more shots, so rerolling with a command point. 1, of course. 2 dice that hit a 3+. Just 1. Wounding with 2+. 2. At least it wounded.
A dice to save thanks to the invulnerability at 4+. Nope, even the last Terminator has been eliminated. Only the Librarian remains, and it doesn't bode well.
And now the charge. My Overlord needs 7 to reach the Librarian, and he rolls a 7. That's perfect. The Overlord starts the fight, making 4 attacks at 2+ on the Librarian. Only 2 hit. Higher strength, so wounding with 3+. Both missed.
The Librarian fights the Overlord, making 4 attacks at 3+. All hit. Strength 6, toughness 5, 3+ to wound. 3 wounds.
3+ to save. All saved. At least you have good armor.
There is nothing more I can do to counter Andrea. Victory goes to the Necrons. What can I say? For the first time, the Doomstalker proved to be a formidable enemy. I didn't think he would be able to inflict so many casualties. The key point that could have made me win was the fight against the Scorpacks. If I'd managed to eliminate them, the game would have been very different. But instead, the Necrons took home a good victory.
I can't believe it! The Doomstalker managed to eliminate the Terminators with impressive ease. The rest of the team couldn't do anything in the attack, but at least they defended very well. Now that the Space Marines have been eliminated, the excavation can resume without a hitch.
Before finishing, we would like to take a moment to thank our members who have decided to support us on Patreon. And if you guys want to support the channel and enjoy an additional and exclusive battle report per month, or see your models showcased in our videos, the Patreon link is in the description. We are waiting for you on Discord.
And if you have come this far, write the word SENS in the comments to let us know. You are the best. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys.
See you next video.